have to go, and then you might have one more step in Chrome to say, hey,
Here we
we're
go. Well, wait a minute. It says live 0 in Chrome, and I'm there. Excellent connection,
okay,
and it looks like we're live.
but one more thing, that little button there that said start sending your video. What does that say now?
It just says live.
Okay,
Can people
well,
see me?
we
Hello?
might.
Oh,
I don't
there we
see
are.
it.
We're there. Hey, we're on it.
Yep, you're up.
All right. I can't believe I did this. Good morning, everybody. I hope that people are there
Wait.
and see that we're there. So we'll see how it goes. And
Jump into your browser and keep an eye on Chrome, and it'll show you who's showing up. You actually fell away here. I don't see the live now.
I actually do by looking at it. It shows that we're live. So we're going to go. We got 3 Connect viewers. We'll wait and see if some people start saying hello and connecting in with us. You guys must be surprised because it's before 10 o'clock and I'm actually on. Can you believe that? It's not like, you know, 10:01, 10:03. Doc is actually on time. Something's happened. There must be some
I see.
breaking news going on here. So all right, we're up to 6 concurrent viewers. So people are starting to click in. Let's see if we can see people there. Yay, you did it, Doc. Thank you, Annie. Okay, people. Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, well, anybody who's there, I'm assuming you do. Good morning, Sue. Um, I am actually, if you guys watched my show many times before, you'll know that I'm not in my office and I don't have my white lab coat on. So I am at my mom's house, and when I am here, I usually choose this spot. It's kind of a cool place in the dining room. But what we're gonna do is just do our usual chat and talking today. I'm gonna kind of open up the chat just to hear what people are having to say, so we can. I gotta change this view though, because if I look at me in a delay, it's gonna mess with me the whole time. So I'm just gonna kind of move this over and see if I can't move these screens a little bit for myself. There we go. I can move the screen over. I can see what I'm doing. I can't see OBS, but I can see the chat, and that's good enough for me. Good morning, Sue. Daniel, hi from Texas. Hey, howdy, cowboy. Um, Marcia, happy Saturday. Diana, good morning. Linda, good morning. Um, and good morning, Leah. Hey, I thank you guys again for tuning on. It's always something that just kind of helps to know that people are out there and know that it's worth for me jumping on and just being here.
Your
Um,
screen is a little split, Doc. Go ahead and click on Zoom and bring it ahead of OBS, and I think it'll redo it.
bring Zoom ahead of OBS.
Yep.
Okay. Oh
We
wow, how did I do that? Okay.
have a split screen going on.
Oh, I see. I see what I did. I can just shrink this down. There we go. How's
There you
that?
go.
Ta-da! Does that work?
Yep.
Okay. So always find a verse. It's hard to verses are kind of difficult lately, people. But this is again Philippians 4:7 today, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Believe me, I need that. I think my mind is my own worst enemy right now. So now, right now, when I look at OBS, Annie, it does show like the screen is stuck
Stuck. Yep. I'm seeing it too on the.
on the video.
Yep.
Okay, so let me go in here, people, and see if I can't figure out how to fix this. Because this is Annie's job, and she's the one who keeps this stuff going. So, does the screen work? Here we go. Um, I see. It's because I minimized Zoom again and brought it up the way that I did earlier.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
so,
Zoom is to be on your top layer, and then OBS right behind it.
okay, so let me go back
And
and
don't change the size of your Zoom window because it'll resize in OBS.
okay.
He's
So
checking.
what happened was is I went to Zoom and then I opened it up. Um, and here, let me move this over. This is weird. Annie. That's why we need Annie, people.
It's
Okay,
you're coming back up
I'm
though, so
back.
people can hear you
I
again.
think I've got it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there it goes.
All right. So, just being and having people, you guys be here really, really helps. I did just lose the chat by doing that because I haven't figured out how to layer these things on my computer so I can watch this. Otherwise, it turns around and I try to move things around and then you can see I got a split screen. So my best bet is this thing. I could turn around and open it and then I could see at least what you guys are chatting. Or Annie can always be feedback and tell me when things are happening and let me know. So
Yep,
I'm gonna.
absolutely. No big questions yet. Everybody's hearing us and seeing us, though. He fixed it.
Okay, good. There we go. So let me turn this sound down. Everyone see us? Yes, Leah. Good. Stuck. Yes. Amen. Okay. So I've been trying to think about what to talk about, and with all this, what do you want to call it that's going on in the world? Just crap, you know. I think
Unrest.
unrest, yeah, definitely some unrest. I mean, but one of the things that we have to come down with, and something that just kind of correlates with even our show, is strength in numbers. There's strength in numbers, and that is something that you people and are probably aware of if you're watching my show, because you're going to find that people like me seem to not be harder to find on the internet because for some reason they're making it harder to find us on the internet. And and if you look at the percentage of the population of this world that control all this crap that you have access to and how money's flowing and what we're supposed to do, it's a very, very small percentage of the population. And then most people seemingly are clueless, in my opinion. I don't know what to say. But the only way that we're gonna see a change is coming together. I mean, it just has to be a standpoint where people just say, "Hey, wait a minute, this is wrong," and we stand up as people. Yet alone, when we're looking from a standpoint of the your chemistry, there's strength in numbers. I mean, what we talk about every week is looking at your numbers. Unfortunately, I did not bring a whiteboard, Dad, so you have to pretend that you can see this. And if somebody gives some numbers, we'll have to explain it by me just kind of discuss it one at a time, and hopefully somebody knows how we represent those numbers because we always write them in the same way. I could put up the perfect equation, and so when we go through and look at it that way, I can discuss each number and go through whatever the numbers are that somebody posts. But there is the strength in numbers when you're looking at RBTI comes in ranges. It comes in you figuring out what range you're in. And so it doesn't look like Annie and I have finished a range based. Did we finish a range one, Annie?
It's not in there.
Okay. So the we're working on one of those little thumbnails that based upon the ranges and how the ranges dictate energy efficiency. And Reams described that in his book, Choose Life or Death. And many of you, if you've never looked at that book, I mean, you can go online and type um, Carrie Reams, Choose Life or Death PDF, and somebody posted it online. It's not his original book. Gene Wilde kind of, when she got the rights to the book. She added a lot of her own stuff to it, and it's not exactly what Reams originally had written. But his original stuff is still in there. She just added things to say that everybody needs to do parasite cleansing, and everybody has there's this stepwise approach that Reams never had in his book. And that stepwise approach that she was talking about was hers. It was her interpretation or teaching of those numbers. Um, but when you're looking at strength of numbers, it comes down to energy efficiency. Range A, 95 to 100% energy efficient. It is. and we call it a range, and not because when Reams talked about ranges, he just said, you know, perfect, perfect numbers as range A. But you're not going to get to perfect numbers. I mean, very few people have ever been recorded as saying that they reach perfect numbers, and I'd say prove it and show it to me. But how can they if it was years ago, right? Or if they've passed away since then. So number two is when you're looking at what we call the restorative range. So as you go through and you look, when I'm trying to teach this stuff, Annie did this beautiful display that says, "Hey, what's a restorative health model?" And so as you go over, and I don't know if you guys can you see my cursor
Yep.
moving on the screen when I do
No,
that?
not your cursor.
No. Okay. So when you're looking at the this restorative health model, if you look on the left side, it says total load or stress. And we've talked about the total load. Your body can handle X amount of stress. You exceed it, you got symptoms, you know? And so that stress load is environmental, it's spiritual, it's mental, emotional, it's physical, you know. And so we talked about, this five-phase mentality of cleaning up your environment: pure air, pure food, pure water, EMF protection, figuring out your particular stress loads. There's a microbial stress load because microbes outnumber us, people, 10 to 1 for in your cells, and so if your body chemistry is imbalanced, your microbials inside your body are going to be imbalanced. And so, but what happens is that stress exceeds that blue line where it says symptoms above it, and that's your threshold. I can only handle X amount of stress. Carrie Ream says the day that you consume more energy than what you get from your food is the first day of disease. Well, wait a minute. I'm using more energy than I'm getting. So I've exceeded my threshold. Natural medicine teaches a total load threshold. Same basic concept. Reams just explained it in energy. And when you are what makes up your symptom pattern is based upon your environment exposures, based upon your toxicities or your deficiencies, and your genetic predisposition based upon, again, deficiencies or excesses, which are toxicities that could have led to that. So you get all these symptoms. And so Annie did this beautiful display of putting that black line that says, "Hey, let's start a five-phase mentality: pure air, pure food, pure water, EMF protection, testing yourself and knowing what you need to do, giving your body the support, and then it naturally starts to detox. That detox is that drain, it's opening up, we're starting to clean things up inside of you. So what do your symptoms do? They start going down. And then what does your threshold do? It goes up because all of a sudden now I have less load and I have more support by supplements of what my body actually needs. So I raise my threshold, and then my symptoms drop below there while you're doing what? Remineralizing, And so I just love that how she did this, But that restorative range is the key. What the heck is a restorative range? And so when Reams taught um, the aspect of ranges, he said uh, he gave outlines of where those values fall. If the bricks was, between 0.5 to oh my God, I do not remember the range numbers without my little cheat sheets. And if Betty was in the chat box, she'd be saying, "You never go without your cheats," you know. But a bricks value of less than 1.5, in my opinion, puts you in range D. A bricks value of, I think, is less than 1 puts you in range E. And then if it's above 2, it goes to range B and vice versa. So we give these things that outline the ranges for each variable. And so when you go and you look at the range chart and you look at your set of numbers, you say, "Hey, my bricks is falling in range C. My pHs, one of them's falling in range D and the other one's falling in range B. My cell debris is falling in range C again. Am I?" and my conductivity falls in B, and then my nitrates are falling in C. Well, wait a minute. I had one value, a pH, that fell in range D, and so your Reams thought that you're only as efficient as your weakest link. So a chain will break based upon the weakest link in that chain. So he says, okay, you fall in range D because you had that one pH that falls in D. Now, what if that pH that fell in D was a saliva pH? So what I have found is that when you're choosing foods, you go by the urine pH, whether you're choosing the DE or the BC, or the range A says, hey, I can eat a little bit of everything, but usually I'm going to swing you into the BC or DE to helping to keep your pHs, because why do we choose BC or DE foods? It's because of the prominent calciums. And what do prominent calciums do? They're calciums that tend to alkalize or raise the pH or acidify and lower the pH. So we choose foods based upon the urine pH. We choose what we drink based upon the Brix. And so when you're looking at the big picture, you know, the ranges just tell us an aspect of energy efficiency. Range A, 95 to 100%. Range B, 85 to 95% energy efficient. Range C is about 50 to 85%. Range D is about 20 to 50%. And range E is about 4 to 20%. So if you have a link in your chain of out of your set of numbers, there's your weakness or your strength in your numbers that puts you in a particular range, then your overall efficiency has got to be here. But sometimes it's easy to go from a range D if say it's your Brix is range D and all your other numbers are in range B. Hey, I've got a Brix of zero point 0.9, but I'm 6.7 over 6.4, and I've got a conductivity of 12, and um, my cell debris is right at a 4M, and my nitrates are at a 10 over 6. So the only thing is I'm having that puts me in range D is that Brix value. That doesn't mean eat range D and E. It means learn sugar regulation. Get a refractometer, check your urine every time that you're peeing, and say, okay, I either need to drink more water if it's going too, or if it's too high, or if it's going too low, I need to slow down on drinking water and I need to eat something. But if that food that you're eating causes you to crash again, and then it's like, oh, maybe I'm eating the wrong foods because that Brix will vary based upon the energy that you're getting from food. I mean, what we're doing is we're taking a system of measurement. So your strength is in finding out how to keep yourself in a healthy range. And we try to get into that AB range. I can't maintain an A range. Just not happening. Stress in my life and my inconsistencies. Now, when I do, I can feel when I'm out of the AB range. I mean, I feel it because I drop down to D based upon my pHs. I feel it. I go back. I know what pills, which ones that move me back in the right direction. I know what I need to eat. Sometimes I'm doing colonics, because I was cheating or something to that effect. I love to do the sauna. Sauna just is total chill for me. Sweat, feel better. If your numbers are high from not drinking enough water, getting in the sauna and pounding some water, it does wonders for my numbers. So, I have kind of, if Betty says learn to cheat, I've learned to cheat. I've learned my cheats. I've learned what I need to do when I cheat to get me back on track so that I'm kind of like, I'm all right, getting by. I mean, that's kind of how I've done RBTI. Is that the best way? No. Do I have any major health concerns? Kind of, sort of. Last week I went water skiing and wasn't in the wake of the boat, got pulled. I did a split like I really should never have done a split, so I pulled a hamstring. Still skied. Oh my God, I kicked butt too. But I was skiing in some serious pain. And I will go skiing again. But so I ran a set of numbers on Monday after I skied. Okay. My Brix was about 3.2. My urine was pH was 4.99. My saliva pH was about 6.7, you know, and so my liver was a little sluggish. My urine was seriously 4.99. My conductivity with that 3 was somewhere around 16, 15 or 16. I usually run about a 1 to 5, 1 to 6 ratio on my sugar to salt. My cell debris was at a 4 double plus. Wow, I'm having some cell destruction. And my nitrates were like, what were they? They were like 5/9 or something like that, or 5/10. I was in a cell destruction pathway. But think about it. So the nitrates, the top number is the right side of the body bottom side is the left side of the body. Well, I was like 5 or 6/9 or 10. Okay, so it was the left side of my body. When you're looking at pHs, they discuss where in the body you get hurt. So when you hit in the mid fives, you're looking at the pelvis. You go below 5, you're looking at your legs and your knees. Oh my God, 4.99, left side of the body. Guess which side of hamstring I pulled? Anybody want to guess? Let's see who gets it first. Da 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 da. See, you guys are too slow, but I pulled my left
Like,
hamstring, and so
do
the
you have a set of numbers up here? Do you have a
I
pen?
I just saw them by picking up to see if anybody said left.
I didn't
So
want to interrupt you.
the numbers, so a 4.99 pH, people, what does that mean? Like, were my bowels moving? Yeah, they were. Did I have cell debris? Yeah, I did. What did I do? I went and took about 10,000 units of vitamin D. I took a couple cal 2s. I was taking collagen. My nitrates were elevated. I took some magnesium. I mean, here I am 6 days later. I'm walking around. I'm not sprinting yet, people, but I'm walking around because Monday and Tuesday were a little bit slow walking around my office. But the numbers just tell you what's going on and where it's going on. It was just a beautiful thing. Yeah, Just Lee, excellent. I send that girl a T-shirt. I just got to get that. If you're a size small, I'll send you a T-shirt because I have a couple extra Vitalometry T-shirts or something
I
that.
need one for the bear.
Yeah, but do you think
I
a
get
small will fit your bear?
one. Not a chance.
All right. So justly, we have 2.5, and then we have 6.5 over 6.8. You guys are going to have to write these out. 14.69, 4 plus, and 8 over 8. I mean, these are great numbers, and all in all, this is not typically somebody who is, um, just starting. You can see numbers like this, but one thing about it, when you're looking at a set of numbers like this, it's good to know height, it's good to know weight, it's good to know age. It tells me, when I'm looking at these, because you look, you have a pH of 6.8, you're at 8 over 8 on your nitrate. So if you weigh 220 pounds, then I know that 6.8 to 7.2 and nitrates that are borderline need for potassium, I know you have a thyroid disorder. So this could be somebody who has a thyroid disorder, but your liver's sluggish and congested. You're gassy, you're bloated, you're not digesting. That 6.8 saliva just says that your bile is weak. And so that is a mineral deficiency, but it's also, you could be, you could turn around since it's pointing right to the core. You could turn around and you could see stomach disorders with this. You could see a gallbladder disorder with this. You could see potential for heart palpitations because depending on your weight and your age, what's going on whether you need magnesium or potassium. So Reams took these factors in. What did you do? Were you a hard worker? What's the color of your skin? That depends on how well you're going to utilize and absorb sun rays and have how much vitamin D you're going to have, or and things like that. Um, so your sugar regulation 2.5 to almost 15. You're a little bit over a 1 to 6 ratio. So you're getting some salt in there that shouldn't be going in. A little bit of sea salt maybe on some of that hummus, who knows, or something to that effect, or maybe you like those chips. But you got to look, and when you see that, like, okay, a little bit of a high salt ratio, you could have some nervousness, you could have some numbness and tingling that's going on. You could turn around and your tendency for sugar crashing, you could get headaches, probably frontal by going by these numbers. You know, um, but overall, your pH of 6.5 says, you're not doing too bad. You're, for the most part. you're doing something, whether you're taking it or eating, you know, the way that you're eating, that your pH, that urine pH is honing in to the A range. So usually, if you maintain things and you're drinking enough water to flush out these salts, flush out the bricks and your nitrates, we're going to fall a little bit with that. And so, therefore, you might need a little bit of potassium. You probably would do well with algazim based upon your weight. I don't know how many, but probably at least two a day, morning and lunch. Sometimes we give one with every meal, you know. But you look at this set, and there's so many pictures that can be told, and that's why I don't get involved with uh, the chat boxes very often, is because nobody posts a full set of numbers with height, weight, and age with what they're taking. So if you're taking, if I look at these numbers and you're taking, vitamin D or vitamin C or cal lactate versus cal 2, it affects these numbers. So without knowing what somebody's taking, I can't just turn around and say, this is what you need, because there's other factors that are playing a role. You have to realize that this set of numbers is giving us a picture based upon the environment that you're creating for your body, and that what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're drinking. Supplements are considered part of what you're eating, but you shouldn't just rely on supplements. So with a saliva pH of 6.8, I look, what jumps out at me at this set of numbers is your conductivity and your saliva pH, and the fact that your ammonia nitrate's an 8. So when that ammonia nitrate, that lower number, breaks over 7, you've got some overgrowth in your gastrointestinal tract. So that's going to go along with a high saliva pH, which is going to be gassy and bloaty, and you're not digesting something because of that 8 um, on that ammonia nitrate. So therefore, probiotic. Yeah, it's not a bad idea you know. So drinking lemon with your meals, get that 1-to-9 ratio of lemon to distilled water, and drinking at least 3 ounces of lemon water with your meals. Because what's that going to do? It's going to help that saliva pH. It's going to help that liver. It's going to help with the purge. You need to do a liver gallbladder flush if everything else is falling in line and you've been doing RBTI for a while. So that's where I sit here and I look at the basics: height, weight, what somebody's taking, and age, and then you go from there and you take a set of numbers and you dissect it. So, Just Lee, you could sit there and comment and say, okay, how far off am I? Is it when I'm looking at this? Because it looks to me like you've been practicing RBTI, but something's not right. Your liver's congested. You're not fully digesting something. You're eating a food allergy. You ate it about 5 days ago or 5 days prior to this. And so today is Saturday. I'd say, what'd you eat Monday? You know, so you go back and look at that, and it makes you wonder. When I look at the numbers, you kind of can see a pattern where the numbers change over time. And again, strength in numbers, I can kind of guess based upon how numbers move, usually about what day somebody would have eaten something they shouldn't have, because there's this range that happens in my brain that says, oh, well, let's say probably no, probably 5 days ago. Barbecue. Okay, was it pork? so,
Oh
so
no.
okay, but if you did eat pork 5 days ago, you're recovering well. You're right on path. Your liver's congested because of it. You didn't digest something. Your ammonia levels are coming down. They probably were 9 or 10. So you look at this. The numbers tell a picture. Why are you laughing, Annie?
Because it's funny. She replies beef. It's like,
Okay,
no, I
good.
didn't eat pork.
Okay, good. So you might be reacted to tomatoes. I find a lot of people react to the nightshades, that barbecue, the tomatoes or peppers in some cases. Those nightshades can show up in the numbers quite often as a food allergy pattern. It's too late for me to see an allergy pattern because, you know, I don't have anything to compare it to. It's nice when people come in and they give me a set of numbers, and then you go back and I flip through their old numbers and see, okay, where were they good, where were they bad, and then I can turn around and then you can kind of really get a guesstimate. I don't know how to explain it. I'm doing my best to give you guys a picture of how these numbers will change over time, but pinto beans that were hotter than hell. Yeah, so you got some peppers there. So so you did something that your body, but you're processing it well. So that's the type of where your liver's stressed. You need lemon. I'd start with lemon. I would do a liver gallbladder flush. I have a protocol in my office. If you email us, you buy a couple packets of Ultima to flavor the disgusting elephant pee tasting Epsom salts. I hate that part of the liver flush.
It's
Um,
not that bad.
oh my God, it is to
Only
me.
like that much in a cup.
I know, but I just I have water ready and I shoot it and I try not to taste it and I drink it. Oh my God, it's just disgusting to me. And then, but we do that. We drink fast food for a week, in some apple juice or tart cherry juice works really well. You drink a lot less of it as far as for people for sugar regulation. It just does not taste good when you do tart cherry and fast food. It's bitter. You drink a half a cup a day, and what you're doing is you're breaking down stones. You're putting high amounts of malic acid, and the ability to form phosphoric acid, which is just drink your Coca-Cola, people. I've actually I went and bought some Mexican Coca-Cola classics. My son Seth, who recently passed away. He loved the kid lived on Dr. Pepper. I couldn't get on, that was another discussion for us, but he loved classic Mexican Coke. He didn't like regular Coke, but Mexican Cokes he loved. And the last time we went motorcycle riding, we went to this place in Coriopolis. It's this little dive of a Mexican shop or store on the main drag, and they sell tacos outside. People, best tacos in Pittsburgh. Go to Coriopolis, go on the main drag, and you'll see this little Mexican shop. Looks like an old gas station, and yeah, they'll fire your butt up too if you add too much of their sauces. And but we went out there, and he's like, "Can we get a Mexican Coke?" And that's the last picture I have of my son, and he's drinking a Mexican Coke. So I went to Costco, I bought a case of Mexican Cokes, and I told my other son, who is 13 and who would drink 5 of them a day, I'm like, "You get to drink one a week, you know, and you can drink it on a Saturday or Friday in remembrance of your brother." But that phosphoric acid, so I'm hoping that it doesn't screw with my numbers. But I lived on Coke growing up, so I'll drink a Coke a week, and maybe the phosphoric acid will keep stones from forming inside of me. I just haven't checked my numbers to see what it is doing.
What do you
Uh,
do for stones? I have a friend going through that right now.
well, yet what kind of stones?
Kidney stones.
Kidney stones. Well,
Mm.
kidney stones are a little bit different. Kidney stones are typically calcium oxalate stones, and so when you're an oxalate stone former, first off, do you have mold? Is there something that led to your ability to not process oxalates appropriately? And then the other thing is they're going to turn around and say you've got to stay away from calcium because most stones are calcium oxalate. It's not true. It's actually been shown that taking calcium, the right forms of calcium, that is, will help with regards to prevent kidney stones. And the other thing that they do, even medically, is they give people baking soda tablets. They actually give people tablets to alkalize the body, to help to break them down and to
Awesome.
keep them from forming. Because why? Because most people are running stinking acidic and they're irritable as hell. And it's because they're eating the foods that they're not supposed to. Their bricks goes up. They're not getting oxygen to their brain. Their pH goes down, and they're just grumpy. And that's just all the time. And so and but to alkalize is what they do. There are ways to pass stones. Start with watermelon. Watermelon helps. There's a protocol where you actually drink a 6 pack of Coca Cola. Because of all of that phosphoric acid, and then eat watermelon and get in an Epsom salt bath, and just all that Coke is going to make you pee, but the phosphoric acid by drinking all that Coke um, will help to wear in the kidneys on those stones. The watermelon dilates the tubules in the inside the kidneys, and in the Epsom salt bath, and the magnesium relaxes and helps with the spasm. And while you're peeing in the bathtub, people can pee out stones. But I did not say to do that, and I am not saying it's a cure, and I am not saying how to take care of getting rid of your kidney stones, but that does work. Um, anyway, good morning, Betty Hernandez. Glad you could join us today. The I hope all's going well, and I haven't talked to you for a while. So, any other things? Because I got in late last night to my mom's house, and I dropped over to my brother's. I haven't really talked to my mom, and just what do you guys want to talk about? Or I will cut short today and try to make a plan just to get here and hang out and have some chill time and go see my brother and see if his swimming pool's open. He was having a pump difficulty, so he just replaced his pump, and hopefully it'll be a nice enough day for me to get some sun. So just to chill and relax a little bit. But you guys, is there anything specific? Because the main thing that I wanted to do. Let's see. Annie says, does anybody have numbers? I had to do backflips to get the show on my TV. Oh, good. I can still do a backflip off a diving board. It blows everybody's mind. Do it on trampoline too. It's always fun. Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning, Mary. Let's see. Looks like we're everybody. I'm just going back and looking to see if there's any quotes or anything. Enjoy your day, Doc. Bernie and Mary. Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Hi. Um, so I'm just looking to see if there's anything specific, because the main thing I wanted to do is just looking at the aspects when I came up with the idea of strength in numbers, is that it comes down to ranges. It comes down to what energy range that you're getting yourself in. And how'd you guys like the screen? Andy made a noise. It kicked over. You got to see her yawning back in the
Right? It's
background.
terrible. I'm trying to pretend I'm awake.
I'm obviously boring somebody.
I'm out of water. I need more.
Yeah, I got mine too. Yeah, water. And so I'm gonna get a drink actually. So I mean, when I'm looking at strength in numbers, talking about those energy ranges is important. And so we've been working on a thumbnail that describes the ranges. And basically, if you go and when we look at the one, the thumbnail for the pHs, what I'm going to put up here. And so you go down on this left side and it says, okay, range A, your pHs. And this is how you choose what to eat, is checking primarily your urine pH. And so when you have that 6.3 to 6.6, it gives you the ability to explore in your diet. But you'll find that certain foods will throw you out of range, and if you tend to go below to range D and E, where your pH is going um, lower, and so therefore, based upon pH, a measure of resistance. So the higher the pH, the more resistance, so the slower things go. So if you see range D and E, the foods in that range are foods that will raise your pH and slow things down, because the digestion will move too fast. In the other way, range B and C, the foods that we choose are foods that will have prominent calcium forms that will speed things up. Well, we did the same thing, the same kind of template for choosing your energy ranges, and showing well, at least we're working on it. Annie's working on it, and I love how she's put these things together. And so we're really getting close to being able to take all of these pictures. She's got me working on distilled water and lemon, and the ranges. And I think, is that all that's left before we can kind of like push a book out there, Annie,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
me going through and again reviewing and just
Oh,
editing
I was gonna say.
that last chapter.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have final touches on your book, and I have to finish your cover. I almost have something I like, so we're almost there.
Good. And so, other than that, what's coming down the pipe? You guys see on the left vitalometry, and it says, hey, if you go to vitalometry, you can save 15%. Well, guess what? I told you stories historically about my dog and how vitalometry just get, you know, I think vitalometry kept my dog alive and moving around in control of her bladder and you name it for the last almost 2 years. Annie, you want to tell about the little experiment that we did with your dog?
It's in there on the counter, but pedalometry. Ooh. I've been giving it to my 10-year-old German Shorthair, and he acts like a puppy now. He annoys the mess out of us. Last night, I mean, it's 2 in the morning, and he's, come on, let's go do something. Let's go outside. Let's go see what's going on with the cats. It's like, dude, take a break. You need a nap. But he is, and his back left leg is a little lame, and he runs on both, and he pushes with it. You can just tell that it doesn't bother him. He doesn't baby it at all. I don't know. I think it's a blessing. It's done wonders for my 10-year-old pup.
Yeah,
I think,
I gave it to one of my office assistants, and she said her dog ran for the first time that she can remember in more than 6 years, out there running with the other dogs, and
what? Oh,
yeah. And then, yeah, everybody that I've actually mixed it for says, "Hey, this stuff is incredible for my dog." So guess what? We took the formula. We're sending it out to get some bids on who's going to put it together. Because we can say whatever the heck we want about what a product can do for an animal, and you don't have all these disclaimers. And all you got to do is make sure that you're giving the animal something that's not going to hurt it, and blah, voila. We can actually advertise it, and not like vitalometry being classified as a experimental medical product that social media has made a decision that we're not allowed to advertise. I just think it's ridiculous that they have the authority to make that decision and it's not the FDA. But hey, we're gonna put it out there for your pets, and as soon as that comes available, you guys hopefully will be able to share with that. Let's see what else we have here. Some people are starting to comment. Hey, Doc, can we discuss options for overgrowth of yeast in the body? Yeah, correct your inner terrain, fix it. Give your body. I'm gonna sneeze. Usually comes in
bless
threes. One. Okay, I guess not. So, uh, if you got yeast overgrowth, you have a high ammonia nitrate. I mean, bottom line, you're putrefying something in your digestive tract, and you're not digesting something fully. And yeast is a naturally supposed to be in there. How do you change it? Well, pH. Like I see, women who get vaginal yeast infections over and over and over again. And what do I give them? I tell them to go get some boric acid from Amazon, get some size 00 double aught capsules, pack them full of boric acid, insert them vaginally once a day for about 5 days. What does it do? Boric acid normalizes the pH, and guess what? Yeast is gone greater than 90% of the time. I have people who have had recurrent yeast infections, and until they fix the internal terrain because they have yeast, and they have to fix what they're eating, they can insert that boric acid vaginally, once or twice a week, and they don't get their yeast infections. But do not swallow boric acid; it will kill you. Do not have capsules laying around that a kid might swallow them. Don't make them unless you're going to use them for that. That's I'm talking to women. You know, uh, but when we're looking at yeast overgrowth, how do you feed it? How do you not digest? How do you don't get enough oxygen? Your digestion, your pHs are going to be off. You have to strengthen your digestive juices. How do you do that? Lemon. We've talked about lemon, people. Lemon is 100% anionic. Lemon normalizes it helps normalize the pH. It provides you with basic amino acid structures for you to build your own digestive enzymes. You have to start digesting your food better. And you don't feed the yeast. So all those anti yeast diets are no sugar, no white flour, nothing white, no potatoes, no rice, all of those carbohydrates, go on a low carb diet. That's part of it. I have people who test positive for yeast because they have yeast overgrowth, and you can get people eating within a month, being able to tolerate some carbohydrate load. But by all means, you don't want to. All you have to do is get your digestion working. So you get the digestion working and you correct the pH. What are you doing? You're changing the environment. Okay, well, now my immune system can get involved. And so, but if you've got like chronic overgrowth of yeast, you might have to take something. Sometimes we use undesolinic acid, sometimes we use grapefruit seed extract, sometimes we use colloidal silver is great to take on a regular basis for that. It's not about killing the bug, it's changing the environment. So it comes down to eating and normalizing your digestive capacity, which is probably you're not digesting because you're deficient in zinc, you're deficient in calcium. So you probably need a min call with every meal. You probably need zinc at least once or twice a day. Something metabolically is going on. Your zinc copper ratio is probably off because copper in the body found in beans, legumes, lentils. Copper kills yeast. It's just an antifungal. So I'm not telling you to go take tea tree oil, and lather and all over your body, and you got to change the internal world. And so there's no everybody has all of these take this kind of cures, and I'm like, do this. It's a matter of what do you need to do to get it to correct. Let me see what else. Lee, is it okay to do the liver gallbladder flush before opening and the drainage pathways? And a lovely story of your last ride. Yes. Oh my God, it was fun. Um, yes, it is okay. A lot of people get told, "Don't do this; you'll get stone stuck" and things like that. And that's why we do the 1 week prep. That's why we are drinking that yucky tart cherry juice with phosphate in it. You're trying to break the stones down so they're small, and even worse is drinking the Epsom salts the day you're flushing. So Epsom salts are magnesium, and there you're gonna get diarrhea, watery, explosive, boom. That's the purpose, is because all that magnesium relaxes smooth muscle. And so you have a bile duct that is 1 to 3 millimeters in size. I can see you, but you can't probably see my eye through that hole. So 1 to 3 millimeters in size, yet you can pass a stone that's near the size of a quarter through that hole. How does that happen? How's that going to happen? Pressure. Okay, let's drink some oil and get the gallbladder and the liver going. Pressure. And two is that those tubes relaxing because they're just smooth muscle. They're elastic. They're held together with collagen. It's, the rubbery aspect of what you are, and so you are relaxing all that smooth muscle with massive amounts of magnesium. And I have had people pass stones near the size of quarters, and believe me, yeah, they felt them coming out. I hope that's why you got to do a good prep. That's why you have to drink that acid crap for a week. Too much apple juice. I hate drinking 18 ounces of apple juice a day. To say you drink a gallon over a week, but too much sugar for me. Crash me out. But yeah, you can do a gallbladder flush, but you gotta do the prep. You gotta break those stones down. You gotta drink that disgusting magnesium, There's a lot of people who say just eat garlic and drink oil, and that'll cause your gallbladder to contract. And yeah, it might, but you might kick out a big stone and that you can't kick out. Then you're in the emergency room for surgery with a stone stuck in your clogging the bile duct. Your poop will turn whitish gray, and because you're not getting any bilirubin to it. And so if you guys want to sit for the medical board exams, I guarantee you there's a case study on there where it mentions that the poop is white to gray. Guarantee it's on every medical board exam somewhere in all the questions. You can at least get one question right. It's a bile duct blockage. They've got some it's on every board exam. So there you go. Poop that turns white to gray, you are not getting your bile to your poop to put those dead red blood cells, bilirubin, in there to give your poop color. So if you didn't know that. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Um, Blue thumbs up. Thank you, Marty, for reminding everybody, guys, on the show. You got to do that blue thumbs up. That it just it's marking. Please share. We had last month out of all of our shows, we had only 40 people share the show. The only way that this is going to find out that people are going to find that there's anything worthwhile, at least I hope it's worthwhile. I saw Annie yawning earlier, so I was putting her to sleep. But if anybody's going to see that what we're trying to teach here is something that can help, and literally, if you guys learn to run your own numbers and understand what I'm telling you, like I told you earlier about my leg and how the numbers point and tell you what to do. I needed calcium, I needed vitamin D, I needed magnesium. I took collagen because my I wasn't digesting protein. My I was 6/9 or 6/10. And so my nitrates, I wasn't breaking down proteins appropriately. So I took liquid collagen. What is it? It's protein. 20 grams, I think 21 grams per serving. I've talked about the product. Here I am walking now, with a near a hamstring last week. So the numbers tell you what to do. You want to change the world, we can only do it in strength in the numbers. That's the whole basis of this is we're not going to change the world without people being aware. You're not going to change your health without getting in the right ranges, you know? Can you use it on cats too? I don't know, Leah. I have not experimented because cats are pretty darn finicky in what they eat. With the collagen that I put in it, every dog that I've given this to and just sprinkle it over their food, they are lapping this stuff up. They are like, oh my God, I need to lick this bowl clean because I can still taste whatever's in there. Annie, what's your dog's experiment with how it likes the taste of this stuff?
Oh yeah, taste is fine. He's kind of a beast though. He's huge. So whatever food you throw in the bowl, he's happy to have. But
uh,
yeah, no problems. He seems to like it. I mean, he doesn't mind it.
I haven't tried giving it to my cats, and I wouldn't. The dose you're looking like on a large animal. I'm giving 1.5 teaspoons twice a day. you know, so I have to calculate dose based upon size and stuff like that. And you're dropping a cat, you're saying, oh my God, they might only need X amount. So cats are finicky. I'd have to really think about that. Face to face, what are your views on nose to tail carnivore or carnivore-ish diet, especially for someone with pH being alkali? Just comments in general. I'm not totally against, eating meat, but I will tell you that you'll find that people who eat too much meat don't digest it. It affects the health of your blood. You'll see inflammatory markers in the blood. You'll see the nitrates show that you're not going to fully digest. The ammonia nitrates typically goes up 8 or 9 with people who eat high meat diets, and they'll have constant overgrowth in their digestive tract. You'll see that that overgrowth affects immune globulin levels, your secretory IgA levels. If you go and look that stuff up from a medical standpoint, and therefore you're affecting your immune imbalance. Those good, you're going to affect your microbiome. and that microbiome makes healthy, makes vitamins. Some of your B vitamins are made by those bugs in your gut. That microbiome. There's so many things that you can affect. So I'm not against meat, but I'm more on the low end of the meat, and particularly like even with blood type. I'm type A blood, and I thrive on doing vegetarian. But oh my god, I love a good burger. I make the most incredible burritos, and I get I'm going in on purchasing a part of a cow, and loading up my freezer with grass fed, free range, organic, incredible beef. It's good stuff. But you put a big steak in front of me, I'm like, yeah, I'll eat some of it, but if I eat a whole steak, I feel like, I just,
Oh,
it's not me. Um, but but I do. I have other people whose nitrates are not responding the way that they need to. They have chronic potassium deficiency, yet they're digesting okay. And I'll have them make sure that they have a protein. You will consistently see me or hear me tell people to have a protein with every meal, but that does not mean meat. Just from that standpoint, because a lot of people aren't digesting it as well as they should, particularly if the saliva pH starts going above 6.6 or below 6.4. So anyway, um, I've given 3 foot body cleanses to my hubby, and his lead levels have gone from over 12. That's awesome. That's awesome. And that is, that's why I don't know if you got the alum talks, the one that we did the video on. I do need to reshoot that video with her, Annie. Maybe you can help remind me to get in contact with her to redo that alum talks product highlight video.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, the whole idea is it's going to tell the body. The other thing is mung beans. If your hubby likes mung beans for some reason have been shown to help lower lead levels. Interesting, huh? Um,
Hmm.
you can do. We have a product called Detoxamine, and it is a rectal um, suppository, and that has EDTA in it. And rectal EDTA, it doesn't get destroyed as quickly by the liver gets in, and it will get absorbed. It doesn't the EDTA doesn't get destroyed by the digestive juices, so you get it absorbed into the bloodstream, and that will chelate the lead and help you to get rid of it. You could do a bottle of 30 count. You do one every other day based upon weight, depending on how big he is. They come in 750 up to 1500 milligrams. And that rectal EDTA will help lower those lead levels. If he is somebody who is exposed on a regular basis, he has to wear protective gear, number one. And number two, you can do something like a continuous EDTA, vitamin C kind of protocol. That's not RBTI, but you are helping to handle the environmental load from a supplemental standpoint. Um,
Questions about pork. What's the problem with pork?
what's the problem with pork? Well, God told the Israelites not to eat it. He knew it for some reason. It's unclean food. Well, that means nothing to a lot of people today, because Peter and Paul said, "Eat your meat." No meat's unclean. Well, they also said all things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. And but when you eat pork, the way it was described by Dr. Kerry Reams is that pork burns up so fast and so hot that it destroys cells. So imagine 2 fires exactly the same size, exactly the same temperature, and you have 2 5-pound logs exactly the same weight. And one of those fires, you just take that log and throw it in. And the other log, you chip the wood and then you throw it all chipped into the fire. What's going to happen? The one that's chipped is going to burn hot and fast. That's basically what pork does. It burns up so hot and fast, it causes cell destruction, and then you release all of this cell debris. Your nitrates go up. You show that you don't digest it. Those nitrates are causing imbalance in the digestive tract. The cell debris, the cell destruction puts stress on the kidneys, so you see your cell debris go up. Your pHs dive down because of all of Your body's trying to process it, so your urine pH dives down, usually between 5.3 to 5.6, kind of predictable. And so you'll see the urine pH, you'll see the bricks shoot up to about 6 or 7. And then what happens there is you're not getting oxygen to your brain. It's measurable. Try it. If you're like, oh, what's wrong with pork? Just check your numbers, eat pork, check your numbers. And if you believe that these numbers are showing you the efficiency and explaining things like what I've been telling you to do, it's measurable every single time. So, you're bringing new people to my show without acknowledgement or signing the release forms.
Well, he growled at me, so he had to go. Gosh, so rude.
Hey, kitty. So
Samson's.
anyway, pork. You could actually, I can almost tell to the day what when pork was eaten. Just like I guessed earlier, what did you eat 5 days ago? More than likely, those peppers or tomatoes are not your friend. You might see that in your numbers if you start changing it. Lee, great explanation. Makes sense. Will definitely prep prior. Okay, for the gallbladder punch, you have to prep, people. Um, does eating grapefruit no. Do the same as drinking lemon water. No. Only lemons have are 100% anionic. And so only lemons do the dispersion and stimulate that, and it should be drank within 8 hours of juicing that lemon in reality. Thank you. Betty answered it. See, she's on top of it. Grapefruit are not anionic. So anionic just is, it's like soap, people. That Dawn takes grease out of your way. Cationic grease clumping, anionic surfactant soap, one drop disperses. So you're doing when you eat lemons, you are dispersing, you are stimulating anion and cation interactions to generate heat. You are going to get more energy from your food, is what it comes down to. Um, I like your bear. Fun to greet solicitors. I bet that is. Yeah, Annie.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
yeah, it was the Alum Talks. Yeah, for people, if you go, I did a product highlight on Alum Talks. It's a ionic foot bath, and I think I gave away like $300 on every sale. If you turn around and you watch that video and you contact her and you order an Alum Talks, you get my discount you for referring you. So if I were to buy them and sell them to you, I'd make it at least $300 more at selling them at $1,300. So for $1,000, and you say you mention it, she'll sell them to you for $1,000. It's a great ionic foot bath. Works very well. Ionic foot baths actually, those ions get absorbed and they go on a cellular level and they stimulate the body to detoxify. But you run both positive and negative because you are attracting like. And that's another show. Like attracts like, not opposites attract. That's something that people have argued. Wait a minute. If I take a magnet and I have the north and the south base and I put the norths together, they oppose. So likes don't attract. But you have to think electromagnetically. That magnetic spin from south to north has that counterclockwise. So when you put the south to north and you put another south on top, what's happening? It's still spinning in the same direction. That's why the north and the south go together, because both magnets are spinning the same direction and you're just keeping one continuous current and you're actually increasing the electromagnetism because of the strength of the magnets by multiple magnets. And big magnets have more attraction. It's not opposites attract, and that's the same in your body. It's the same with molecules, and Reams told us that. And why they teach opposite of that, it's been suggested so that people can't figure out how to make nuclear bombs and all types of other things by knowing the truth of how this world works mathematically. I don't know. So I think that's a show. I think we did okay. I hope that you think we did okay. I hope you are sharing this. I hope you're giving a thumbs up. I hope you appreciate it. And I just thank you for being there. Annie, is there anything that you want to share and send everybody off with?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Make sure you hit OBS first.
hit OBS first. Okay.
Yes.
People, thank you. God bless you all. I appreciate you tuning in. I'll talk to you and be here next week. Come with your questions. Thumbs up to all